There are so many people who are always complaining that mathematics is actually, there are so many people that are actually complaining that mathematics is so difficult. But the reason why they always have problem with mathematics is no other reason but they don't know where to start from. And some overlook some certain basics, serious issues that they overlook. And number one of them is multiplication table. I will start with the multiplication table, which is 3 times 1 is equal to 3. Some people are finding it difficult to know how to memorize, to know this multiplication table. I've created a list for you to memorize it so easy if you want to. If we have 3 times 1, if we add 3 to the previous thing, you can get 3 times 2, which is what? 6. If we have 3 times 2, which is 6, we can add 3 to the previous 6, we get 9. If we have 3 times 4, we can add 3 to the previous 9, which gives us what? 12. So, by mere addition of 3 consecutively, continuously, we can get the multiples. These numbers you are seeing here, they are called the multiples of 3. They are called the multiples of 3. We can go on and on like that, and we'll get the multiples of 3 as we add 3 in to the previous 3 that we, the previous multiple that we have to get the multiplication. And we also can also do that for 4 times, 5 times, just like that. Let me just do for 4 times and 5 times, like 3 times, 4 times and 5 times. I will show you the importance of this in mathematics. 4 times 2 is actually, when you add 4 to this, you have 8. 4 times 3, when you add 4 to 8, you have what? 12. 4 times 4, when you add 4 to 12, you have what? 16. 4 times 5, when you add 4 to 16, you have what? 20. 4 times 6, when you add 4 to 20, you have what? 24. 4 times 7, when you add 4 to this, you have what? 28. 4 times 8, when you add 4 to this, you have what? 32. Let's go to 5 times. You can try it for all other multiplication table as well. It's the same thing. Just add your numbers like that. 5 times 2, when you add 5 to this, you get what? 10. 5 times 3, when you add 5 to 10, you get what? 15. 5 times 4, when you add 5 to 15, you have what? 20. 5 times 6, when you add 5 times 5 rather, when you add 5 to 20, you have 25. 5 times 6, when you add 5 to this, you have what? 30. 5 times 7, when you add 5 to this, you have what? 35. 5 times 8, when you add 5 to 35, you have what? 40. I will stop here. If you go on and on, you can do that and get your multiplication table. The next thing I want to talk about is not just knowing multiplication table alone. Multiplication table also help you in knowing your division. How many times will a number go into a number without remainder? If there's going to be a remainder, you will also know. Let me just pick the number, one of the multiples of 3, which is 15. For instance, if I may ask, how many times will 3 go into 15? It's just 5 times, because it is 5 times 3 that will give you what? 15. So you can see that knowing your multiples will help you. Knowing your multiples will help you to know how numbers can be, how the number can go into a particular number, whether there will be a remainder or not. See, for instance, 15, for instance, with 3 into 15. All I just need to do is for me to get my multiples of 3. The first one is 3, the next one is 6, the next one is 9, the next one is 12. That is 3 times 4, 12. The next one is what? 5. By so doing, I've already known that 3 can go into 15 5 times by virtue of what I have here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So you should be able to know your multiplication table, and the multiplication table will help you, guide you on how to know how many times a number can go into a number, whether there will be a remainder or not. Like the first one we did here, 5, 3 into 15 will give us what? 5. There is no remainder. But what if I say 16 divided by 3? I know for sure that there will be a remainder. But how do I know? For example, now I will just check my multiples. I will start from my multiples. My multiples of 3, for example, I have 3 there, 6, 4, 9, 12, 15. The next one will be 18. So it will have exceeded what I want to divide. You can see it. It will have exceeded 16 I want to divide. So automatically I know that it can go 5 times because the multiple is 15. Then it will go 5 times with a remainder of what? 1. Then I cannot say 5 whole number 1 over what? 3. So you can see that the remainder will be 1 because if it goes, the next multiple of 3 will have exceeded 16 I'm dividing. So it will help you to know how to do your division. Okay, let me pick one other example from the multiples of 4. For example, I have 24. 24. How many times before going to 24? How many times before going to 24? I will just check my multiples. First of all, I know that 4 times 1 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is what? 12, times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. Then the next one is, it can go 6 times because 4 times 6 will give me what? 24. So there will be no remainder. So it's just equal to what? 6. You can see that 4 times 6 gives me what? 24. What if I say 25? What if I say 25 divided by 4, for instance? How many times will 5 go into 24? With this knowledge of multiple, I'm rest assured, I can confidently tell you that 4 can go into 25 6 times with a remainder of what? 1 over 4. So it will go into 25 because the next multiple will have been 28, which is more than 25. So it's very clear, without any argument, that 4 can go into 25 6 times with a remainder of 1. So if you want to express this fraction in another form, which is called mixed fraction, it's actually 6 whole number 1 over 4. Very simple. Just understand this very well because so many people overlook this aspect of mathematics, and when you ask them questions, you just be wondering, but I know so many people have actually know this. But for those that are still having problem with this is a golden opportunity for you to know all this aspect of mathematics we are talking about. Let me just pick another aspect from the multiples of 5. Okay, let me say 30. 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5. How many times will 5 go into 30? 5 will go into 30 how many times? You can pick out the multiple. 5, 10, 15. That is 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 4, 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6. From there you can see that you can go there 6 times. You can see this, the multiplication that is able to tell us how many times it will go. What if it is not a number that 5 can go without remainder? Let me say 32 divided by 5. Let's try it. When we check it, we discover that the first multiple up to 30 is actually 6. Then the next one would have been 35, which would have exceeded 32. For the fact that it will exceed 32, we know that we are going to deal with, we are going to use the multiple that come before 32, which is what? 6. So 5 can go into 32 6 times with the remainder of what? 2. This is exactly what we have. 6 whole number 2 over 5. These are simple things. It looks like something that is very simple, but the unfortunate aspect of it is that so many people are having problem with these aspects of mathematics, and is making it very difficult for them to start the process of knowing mathematics. We are going to be making videos of how you can know so many aspects of mathematics. This one is just a start. This is just a start. I can confidently tell you that I'm starting from, as if I just want to start from, as if I'm starting from a nowhere, but I know where I'm going to. Start, subscribe to this video. You will always get so much.